Welcome back to Firepower. Most people still think air pistols are toys. Cheap, low-power, backyard plinkers meant for cans and paper targets. That belief is exactly what makes modern air pistols so dangerous in 2026. Because technology didn't just improve them, it completely rewrote what an air pistol is capable of. Today's video is not about hype, and it's not about shock value for its own sake. It's about reality. The reality is that some of the smallest air pistols on the market today deliver power, penetration, and precision that demand the same respect as traditional firearms. Not because they use gunpowder, but because physics does not care what launches the projectile. This is a breakdown of the smallest air pistols that changed the game in 2026, why they matter, and why misunderstanding them is where real risk begins. Let's start with the misconception that refuses to die. For decades, air guns were associated with training, pest control, and casual backyard shooting, spring pistols, CO2 plinkers, low recoil, low noise, low consequence. That image is deeply outdated. Modern air pistols, especially PCP platforms, operate at pressures up to 5,000 psi. They launch heavy slugs at velocities once thought impossible without gunpowder. The result is a category that looks familiar but behaves very differently. A useful way to understand this shift is to stop asking whether an air pistol is deadly, and start asking how much energy it delivers relative to its size. Power density is what matters. And in that metric, some air pistols now rival small caliber firearms. This brings us to the first category, what many shooters underestimate the most. Small PCP air pistols with serious recoil. A perfect example is the Huben GK1. At a glance, it looks manageable, compact, almost friendly. But once you fire it, the illusion disappears. This is a true PCP air pistol capable of launching pellets and slugs at velocities that produce real recoil. Not simulated recoil, actual rearward force you can feel in your hands. What surprises most shooters is how quickly the GK1 reminds you that grip, stance, and follow-through matter. It does not forgive sloppy technique. The accuracy potential is extremely high, but only if the shooter respects what the gun is doing. This is where many people get into trouble. They assume small size equals low risk, and they let their guard down. Another platform that fits this category is the Hudson V Lukux. Semi-automatic air pistols introduce a different kind of concern. Fast follow-up shots combined with high energy demand discipline. The moment rapid fire enters the equation, responsibility increases exponentially. A semi-auto air pistol with meaningful power removes the pause that once existed between shots. That pause used to act as a natural safety buffer. It's gone now. This is where training mindset becomes critical. These pistols are not toys, and treating them as such leads to mistakes. The second category pushes the boundary even further. Convertible air pistols that transform into carbines. The Air Turi Microstrike is a perfect example of how blurred the line has become. In its pistol configuration, it already delivers impressive performance. Add a folding stock, and everything changes. Stability improves, effective range increases, accuracy jumps, and expectations shift immediately. This transformation is where many users fail to recalibrate their mindset. The moment you shoulder a platform, your brain treats it differently. You aim differently. You engage targets differently. But some people forget that the power output didn't magically change. It was already there. Convertible platforms demand maturity from the user. They offer incredible flexibility, but flexibility without restraint is where accidents happen. Just because a platform can be configured multiple ways doesn't mean every configuration should be used casually. Then there's the category that truly forces a conversation most people are not ready for. High-caliber air pistols that operate like hand cannons. The Bentac T9 is not subtle. Chambered in .357 air caliber, launching heavy slugs at serious velocities, it crosses a psychological threshold. At this level, you are no longer dealing with an air pistol that surprises people. You are dealing with one that commands respect immediately. The recoil impulse, the report, and the downrange effect leave no room for confusion. This is not something you hand to a curious friend without explanation. This is not something you treat casually in a backyard environment. The accuracy potential is impressive, but the margin for error is narrow. When energy climbs past a certain point, mistakes stop being learning experiences and start becoming permanent consequences. The Crosman American Classic represents the other end of the spectrum, and it exists for a reason. Spring-powered, simple, predictable, and limited in energy, it offers a level of safety and consistency that extreme platforms cannot. It's ideal for training fundamentals, introducing new shooters, and reinforcing discipline without overwhelming power. This contrast is critical. Progress doesn't mean replacement, it means expansion. High-power air pistols don't make traditional air pistols obsolete. They simply demand clearer understanding of purpose. One of the most overlooked aspects of this entire discussion is legal reality. In many regions, air guns are regulated differently than firearms. In others, high-power air guns fall into firearm-like categories. Some countries require registration, some impose energy limits, some restrict transport. The law often lags behind technology, and that gap is where people get into trouble. Assuming an air pistol is legally harmless because it doesn't use gunpowder is one of the fastest ways to create legal problems. Responsibility includes knowing not just how powerful a platform is, but how it's treated under the law where you live. The AEA Harpoon pushes this concept even further. Its double-barrel design and massive calibers exist not because they are practical for everyone, but because technology allows them to exist. This is innovation without apology. It challenges traditional definitions and forces users to confront the reality that air power has caught up to expectations people never thought it would reach. At this level, the conversation is no longer about fun. It's about control, intent, and responsibility. Now, it's important to pause here and restore balance. Not every air pistol needs extreme power. Another hidden danger is psychological. High-power air pistols often feel less intimidating than firearms, less noise, less blast, less perceived recoil. That familiarity breeds carelessness. Shooters relax. Safety habits loosen. Muzzle discipline slips. This is where accidents happen. The gun doesn't announce its danger loudly enough to force respect automatically. The user has to supply that respect manually. This is why education matters more than specifications. Understanding energy numbers, penetration potential, and effective range changes how you treat a platform. Understanding that some air pistols now exceed 100 foot-pounds of energy forces a mental reset. These are not toys upgraded slightly. These are serious tools that require serious behavior. So what's the real takeaway from all of this? Modern air pistols are not impressive because they are small. They are impressive because they force responsibility. They expose gaps in training, they punish complacency, and they reward discipline. The danger isn't that air pistols became powerful. The danger is that many people haven't updated their mindset to match that power. Respect is the real safety mechanism. When treated correctly, these platforms offer incredible accuracy, flexibility, and performance. When treated casually, they become unpredictable and unsafe. Technology will continue pushing boundaries. Air guns will get more efficient, more powerful, and more refined. That trend isn't slowing down. What matters is whether user education keeps pace. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you still think of air pistols as training tools, or do you view modern PCP platforms as serious weapons? Have you ever been surprised by how much power an air gun actually delivered? And where do you think the line should be drawn between innovation and responsibility? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Conversations like this help set realistic expectations and keep people safe. If you appreciate clear, grounded discussions without hype or fear-mongering, make sure you're subscribed to Firepower. We focus on understanding the tools we use, not underestimating them. Stay informed, stay disciplined, and we'll see you in the next one.